and welcome to part 2 of my reading for the signs for the North and South Node shift into Taurus and Scorpio. So we left off with Libra, rising, sun, and moon. We discussed the Four of Water, the possible discontentment and boredom in your solo quests, adventures, projects, possible businesses, and that possible shift into more 8th house things, right? Where the North Node is shifting for you, right? So shared resources, shared property, basically getting involved with other people financially. So if there has been any fear over that, fear around a will perhaps being drawn up or a prenuptial agreement, Irene is really here, a call that there is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. And there's something to be said here, I think, about like being supported for always and trusting in that. And the Peace card can be really a call to that. And as you can see the image here, she has grapes and corn, she has food, she is provided for. Okay, so any worry that there has been around getting into these partnerships, being dependent on someone else's resources or them dependent on yours. I would say we are in Mercury retrograde until like February 3rd, I think. So it's okay to look back on those things to make sure everything is the way that you want it and feels good for you, right? But I do feel like a large part of this is energy, is believing that things are going to work out and tapping into your resources that regulate and calm your nervous system. So let's move into the self-care card for the next 18 months for this nodal shift. Lovely. Spend time with animals. So speaking of nervous system regulation, animals are really great to co-regulate with, right? To match their calm, right? That's the idea of co-regulation, is that we are hoping to borrow some of that calm. We are hoping to match our nervous systems with their nervous system when we are in fight or flight and we want to be in rest or digest, or when we are dissociated and we want to be a little bit more in our fight or flight, right? So taking the time to spend with maybe a pet that you already have, or offering to watch loved ones' animals, which I would often do before I had my James. Perhaps taking a walk in more walks in nature and allowing yourself to connect with wild animals. I'm also really hearing like any insects or animals that come up in your day, keep tracking that, looking up the spiritual meaning and significance of their presence, especially if you are having a particular thought, much like we do with angel numbers, can be done with animals as well. And I was feeling called to pull a card from the Animal Oracle deck. And Libra, rising, sun, and moon, you got Lizard, dream time. So pay attention to your dreams and visions. These will likely be really important for you over the next 18 months dealing with this nodal shift. Maybe you'll get some insights, messages, and clues. Maybe looking up the significance of a lizard as it's coming to you now. Other forms, because one of them is to pay attention to your dreams and visions. You might be dreaming of animals a lot. So yeah, looking up the significance of those animals and insects and what insight and messages they may possibly bring to you. All right, Libra. Now we're moving into Scorpio rising. This node shift is going to occur in your 7th and 1st house. So North Node going into the 7th house of committed partnerships, business and otherwise. and the South Node moving into the first house of self, ego, basically identity, right? So this shift may see you wrapping up ego work, maybe wrapping up a shift into a new identity, okay? Or releasing the need to always go it alone and be solo dolo, right? With the North Node in the 7th house, you may be embracing committed partnerships and relationships, business partnerships, a lot more over the next 18 months. 9 of Water, very lovely card. Your wishes come true, concerns fade away, a love of life. So what I'm hearing with this is that a lot of Scorpio risings, Sun and Moon as well, have perhaps been concerned about shifting into a new business partnership or relationship, okay? And the manifestations, the wishes, the affirmations, the work that you've been doing to call that in is being heard and validated. I'm hearing over the next 18 months that your wishes are going to come true. Whatever personal wishes those have been for you around relationships. And I'm hearing it can go either way or maybe both for you. And if this resonates or you have anything to share about it, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Of course, maybe we have to let this play out a little bit, right? Pay attention to those eclipses because that's when we can see significant movement and change in these areas of our life, okay? And I'm really hearing like a big reemergence of a love of life, okay? You're moving into a new way of being. Again, I'm really hearing that whole idea of wrapping up this work of shifting your identity, right? Around who you are and how you show up in the world and what you have to bring to it and bring to romantic partnerships and business partnerships. Let's look at your goddess oracle. Lakshmi, bright future, stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. So really just more validation that this nodal shift will likely be positive for you. And again, similar to Libra, you know, that whole idea of regulating, you know, working over the next 18 months to regulate your nervous system, because just because good things are coming, it doesn't always mean that we're good at allowing them, especially if we've had a history of trauma, right? Kind of always doomsdaying and expecting the worst. So really allowing for that abundance to come to you, perhaps with affirmation, some sort of nervous system regulation, bringing any fears that you have out in nature. I'm also hearing that if any of you would like a visualization to help you release your worries, it's really beautiful one I do with my clients, where you release fears and worries and things down the river. You can comment below Scorpio, rising, sun, and moon, and let me know if you want that, and I can send it to you. Yeah, and it's just so beautiful, right? Very nice. Self-care for you over the next 18 months. Yes, grounding yourself, okay? Going back to that idea of, you know, this possible worry creeping in, okay, around the abundance you deserve, around committed partnerships and relationships. And of course, this will help you with any aspect of your life, but I'm really hearing that as you see these shifts in 7th house things over the next 18 months, it may really behoove you to get grounded, to be grounded. And I love this image of the roots going all the way down right into the ground. And there's so many different ways you can do this. Of course, meditation, but really rolling with the idea that meditation doesn't have to look the same every day. It doesn't have to look like this. It can be picking fruit. It can be watching the waves in the ocean. It can be hugging a tree, right? Walking barefoot. I'm also hearing eating root vegetables, potatoes, carrots, beets, turnips, parsnips, things like that. Getting your hands in the dirt a lot this year, which I said that many of us may see that shift with the Nord in Taurus, which is a very earthy sign, right? Okay, Scorpio, so that's what I see for you. Really beautiful, I think, node shift for you coming, and it's really just a matter of, yeah, grounding yourself to keep up with all the change. Because even when we have good change coming to us, it can be dysregulating, right? Okay, Sagittarius. For you, the North Node is shifting into the 6th house of health, fitness, daily routine, pets, and the South Node in the 12th house. So you may be ending some endings, right? That double emphasis on releasing. 12th house is the subconscious. It is isolation, rest, rumination, endings. So we're going to see what your tarot card is. Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. So I want to start with the heightened psychic abilities, Sagittarius, rising, sun and moon. I'm really feeling that with the South Node moving into the 12th house, that's might really tap into your heightened psychic abilities. It may really be a year of you releasing negative thought patterns, okay? Because 12th house can really be like how we treat ourselves subconsciously, right? And I do see heightened psychic gifts for you over the next 18 months that you will perhaps, since the North Node is moving in the 6th house of rituals, that you will perhaps begin to ritualize, right? You might, it might become part of your daily routine to tap into those psychic abilities, okay? And then I see the new person entering your life is possibly someone to mentor you through this, teach you through this. Maybe you will, start daily work with somebody to really hone in these psychic abilities. Okay. I want to see if there's anything else coming up. I'm hearing, I don't know why I didn't want to say it. I guess I just wasn't feeling like it was true, but I was hearing like, the new person entering your life could be more around, mentorship, working with someone or someone at work. Oh, James, come here, honey. And that's James. Come here, honey. Come here. Come here, babe. Come here. Yeah, so I guess James had something to say about that. Yeah, I'm feeling more like this person who's entered your life as opposed to romantic is more there to help mentor you, maybe someone that you will meet at your daily grind, someone who can help you ritualize these intuitive gifts. Let's see what your goddess oracle is. Sagittarius, Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. I really feel like a lot of these signs have been getting this whole like, don't worry, you're cared for. You are provided for, supplied for. And I think this has to do with the nodes shifting into, the north node shifting into Taurus and south to Scorpio, which are second and eighth house ruled signs, and have a lot to do with feeling supplied, right? So I think that's what this is hitting on here. And, you know, coming back to affirmations that help us feel abundant, right? And really supplied for and cared for, can really help us hone in on believing that, embodying that, right? Integrating that. Because it's one thing to just hear it here from me, and it's quite another to really, over the next 8 months, remind yourself of this in whatever way you're feeling called to. I'm hearing that is getting out in the moonlight, spending more time under the moon, spending more time near water. Also, with lavender is really coming up for me. Swimming with dolphins. I don't know like how doable that is with people. But yeah, sailing, surfing, spending time on or around the water, in particular the ocean, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. That's what I'm hearing for you, particularly rising as it concerns your 6th and 12th house node shift. And really, yeah, I'm hearing too, like making a daily ritual of these things in whatever way possible. Bathing or showering with salt water to pull in or call in that ocean energy if it's not doable for you to go there. And your self-care oracle, look to the stars, beautiful. So really that whole idea of spending more time under moonlight, and also possibly, you know, maybe one of your new daily routine 6th house rules that is going to be reading your daily horoscope, which you should be doing for what I'm doing this reading for, which is rising. So if you're Sagittarius rising watching this, you would be reading for Sagittarius. I also like to read for my sun and moon sign, or mostly sun and rising, whatever you feel you resonate with and called to. But this may be a call over the next 18 months to, yeah, tap into astrology, to learn astrology, to incorporate astrology into your daily rituals and practices, you know, spending more time under the moon. I'm also hearing working with the cycles of the moon. And if you're a woman, you can really tap into that menstrually as well. I think like Kate Northrup does a daily planner or something. Like is all about doing less, right? Working smarter, not harder, and being able to sync our work schedules and our life around our cycles, and how beneficial that is for women. I know that the Flow app and Alyssa Vitti, I believe is her name. I forget her book. Was it just called Flow? Woman Code, I believe. Also highly encourages that as well. So that may be something that you feel called to over the next 18 months. And yeah, tapping into those intuitive astrological senses of yours. Maybe diving into your natal chart, you'll see just how intuitive and powerful you are, and following that intuition and those heightened psychic abilities to help you with any challenges throughout the next 18 months. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and particularly rising. Now we're moving on to Capricorn. The North Node is moving into your 5th house of romantic affairs, of children, of the inner child, and play. And South Node is moving into your 11th house of greater community, technology, okay? So Capricorn risings might move into fatherhood, or just parenting, motherhood, having kids, being around kids, inner child work, and there may be some wrapping up or releasing around technology, around humanitarian efforts. Maybe you just finished some time at Greenpeace. So your tarot card is the Dreamer, Archangel Metatron, a leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So going back to that North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, because we're all going to be feeling that energy shift. I'm really feeling that that is about your finances, right? So many Capricorn risings maybe have been feeling stuck, or feeling like they're not following their dreams. They're just doing what they need to get a paycheck. Dark side of Capricorn can do that, right? And maybe it's not even dark side. Like, they want to pay their bills, right? They want to be supplied for. They want that coin, okay? They're good at tapping into working hard for that coin, right? So you're really being called to, you know, as it resonates with you, take a leap of faith. I think that a lot of Capricorn risings are going to be seeing a lot of unexpected opportunities coming up. Maybe many places where they have closed the door and said, well, I'm doing this one thing, so I can't do another, is really going to be like blown through and blown away. And all these former rules around money for you, might really be just kind of blown out of the water. Yeah, and it's really, you know, I want to mention, like, honing in on your own guidance and desires when it comes to following your dreams and not allowing anybody to talk you in or out of it. And this really goes with this 5th house, 11th house thing, because 5th house is more like doing things on your own for you, right? Following your dreams as opposed to 11th house, like goals, wishes, and dreams, which may kind of be more like dreams that we have for the world. And now you're honing in on these dreams for yourself. Maybe in the past you have been doing just that, taking a job or doing things where maybe you don't make as much money, but you're helping people. And I'm seeing a real shift for Capricorn risings where they're just like, no, now this time is for me. I'm moving into a place of independence, and it might not make sense, and maybe I am leaving behind this part of me that, you know, 11th house part of me that is taking care of others, that does things for the good of other people. But right now, I am going to be doing things for the good of me, right? Tapping into a lot more of your creativity, what you have to offer as an individual. All right. Let's take a look at your Goddess Oracle card, which is Ichel, Medicine Woman. You are a channel for divine healing power. So what I'm hearing is some of you may be tapping into your ability to heal children. Okay, so 5th house. And that can be on many levels, you know, maybe you allow them to be themselves. Maybe you are a nurse at a school, so you actually heal them. Maybe you are a child psychologist, right? Maybe you work in child trauma therapy. I'm also hearing that this may have to do with many Capricorn risings over the next 18 months, healing the inner child, right? 5th house rules children in the inner child. So you might be going through a lot of that. Maybe it's you being called to harness your healing energy when it comes to children, or you're being called to heal the inner child. It also may be a call for you to teach the healing arts. Maybe that is the dream, right? The dream to follow, and there may be unexpected opportunities for you to provide healing to children or inner child healing to others. Okay? That's exciting. All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, your self-care for the next 18 months. Make an altar. Beautiful. And this altar might be able to help you harness and call in more of that divine healing power if you don't feel really attached to it, right? I'm also hearing like making an altar for your inner child, which I've never really had this thought or this idea. This just came up now. Maybe it's not even my idea. But like pulling out, making a space where there are things that your inner child enjoys, that you enjoyed as a child, that maybe still spark interest for you today. So I'm not hearing like the traditional like ancestral altar. I'm hearing like an altar that's an homage to a younger you or the child within. And maybe, you know, you didn't have a lot of toys in childhood. Maybe you didn't get to connect with anything joyful in childhood, but we all have an inner child that has opinions and likes and dislikes and things that light them up and excite them and nourish them. So tapping into that and creating a space in your home where you can bring those things, bring those ideas, right? And then go to it and nourish the inner child. Okay? That's what I'm really hearing for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and I'm hearing that that is complete. It was a lot. It felt like a lot, even though it was a short amount of time. Aquarius, the North Node is moving into your 4th house of mother, parents, home, family, early childhood, and the South Node is moving into the 10th house of career. So many of you may be feeling like a struggle between these two areas of your life, or a more balancing out, right? Embracing more time at home, which is very Taurian, and possibly wrapping up a job, maybe leaving a job, okay? And or bringing that job to your home, working from home. Oh, so you got 2 tarot cards. You got 3 of air, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. So with this, I'm hearing and seeing like, yeah, maybe there is something to grieve around this shift and this rebalancing of career life and home life. Maybe there are some Aquarian risings, possibly Sun and Moon too, leaving their jobs, and it is creating grief. It's creating great sadness for them to be parting. I do want to see what the other card is. 3 of Earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. So air is typically mental capacity, thoughts, communication, okay? And then Earth, 3 here, 2 3s, interesting. And then Earth is typically about finances, material possessions, career, right? So what I'm hearing is that, yeah, maybe many Aquarian risings are sad about that shift that they'll be seeing. But that some of you are moving into a new career. And you're being really called on, you know, to harness and to hone in your creative abilities and creative solutions for this shift. Right? Yeah, I'm hearing like there's a lot going on with someone spending more time at home, someone spending more time out of the house. So there may be something to grieve there, okay? But what I'm hearing is that there is something new coming. Let me just see if there's anything else that I missed. Yeah, so you're going to be leaving something behind, but this I really see as a move or a shift into a new career, or freelance work that involves your creative abilities and capabilities, okay? Teaching others, perhaps creating art, digital or otherwise. So that's what I see as a shift here. So yeah, over this past 18 months, taking the time to grieve what has shifted, right? I don't think there's like a loss necessarily that isn't accompanied by gaining something new. So I do see that, and I find that to be positive, but often we forget to mourn those things that are more difficult. Even if they bring about something good, there's still sadness, right? Release or sadness around it. Maybe forgiving, former coworkers or boss that you're not going to be dealing with anymore, and being able to release and forgive them just because you're not going to be around them anymore. I don't know why. That's something I was hearing. All right, and your goddess oracle is Maeve. Cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. And I have to use the bathroom. I cannot wait. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with Aquarius rising, sun and moon. Your goddess oracle card is Maeve. Cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. And this really is kind of taps back into the idea of taking the time to heal, right? And sometimes we don't notice these things, like a career shift. Oh, I don't need to grieve that or heal from that. But oftentimes we do, and it'll come back around and we'll feel it and we'll wonder what it is. And it's just because society has not really allowed us to look at those things as things that need healing or grieving. Okay? But really tapping into your energy and the balance. What I'm hearing is honoring the cycle of your body, yes, and your energetic levels, and honoring the need to balance 4th and 10th house things, okay? Honoring when it feels good to spend more time at home, and when it feels good to spend more time putting energy into your career is what I'm really hearing. All the other sign readings so far have been about, grounding, about nervous system regulation, about checking in with the body, right? Tending to ourselves more, right? Going back to what I said in the very beginning, part 1, the first video, integrating everything from the North Node in Gemini now being in Taurus, is we are embodying it. And what comes with integration and embodying, hopefully, is honoring our energetic levels, right? Honoring our bodies and the rhythms and the cycles, right? This can also be a time for any women to really tap into their own menstrual cycles, maybe regulate their cycles to that of the cycles of the moon. And again, with the North Node in Taurus, there's this idea of really honing back into the earth elements and the cycles of the earth. And it's likely many of us, you know, are going to be doing that a lot more. And since the North Node is moving into the fourth house, which is ruled by Cancer, has a lot to do with, you know, feminine energy, the feminine body, the breasts, and it can represent, so this card, and because the North Node is in your fourth house, I'm mentioning, there can be shifts, right, in your own cycle you may be seeing around this time. It can be a call for Aquarian risings in particular, because we're talking about fourth house, that you're tapping back into feminine energy, mother energy, healing the mother wound, possibly releasing, healing, wrapping things up around 10th house things, father energy, okay? Maybe moving into a new feminine way of being, honoring the feminine cycles a little bit more. And there may be some highlights around mothering, right? And it doesn't just have to be children. It could be mothering a project, a creative project. So your self-care oracle for the next year, build strength. I love that. Yes, and it can be physical strength, but I'm also seeing and hearing here with that third eye is intuition, okay? So strengthening not just the physical body, right, but the spiritual body, and strengthening your intuition, because what I'm hearing is that strengthening your intuition will allow you to tap into the you know, moving with the cycles and rhythms, and being able to balance fourth house, 10th house things, being able to balance family and career is what I'm hearing. But I would like to look this one up and see what else comes with it. The mantra is, I am strong, my body, mind, and spirit are resilient. Yeah, and tapping, it's not just about, like, oh, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta go for a run. It's about tapping into those things and those areas of life that make you feel strong, you know? Keeping a beautiful home, North Node in the fourth house, right? Makes some people feel strong. Defending others makes other people feel strong. Defending yourself, right, can make some people feel strong. So tapping into those things that make you feel courageous and make you feel like you have strength, okay? Not just building up strength in your muscles, although that can be something that you tap into over the next 18 months. I'm also hearing like core activities, things that strengthen the core. All right. Pisces North Node is shifting into your 3rd house of local community, of your vehicle, of your neighbors, of your siblings, and South Node is shifting into the 9th house, which is publishing, higher education, long distance travel, religion, law, philosophy. So you may be wrapping up some things in that area of your life and embracing more of a local flavor or vibe. Ace of Water, falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, a new home. Yeah. So the first thing that I'm hearing and seeing for Pisces rising, in particular sun and moon, also, but really in particular rising with this comment, is a shift. So some of you may be moving back home from out of the country or out of state. Okay, there's more of an emphasis on local community here, building a local community, maybe for the past year or for a much longer past, you have been focused on, you have been focusing your efforts on more distant communication, more distant relationships, okay? You may be ending a relationship with someone that you met in a foreign country. Or you may be moving back together to your homeland, right? To where you came from. So those are some of the things that could occur or come up. But again, much more emphasis on building a local community. What I'm seeing is falling in love or the resurgence of a more local, tight-knit, nearby community. Okay, the idea of spiritual growth and enhanced intuition really comes with 9th house things, so I think you'll be tapping into that as well. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else that comes up. And I do see many of you moving, and not just moving, but moving with this idea of, wanting to either come back home or wanting to move into a community that's more tight-knit, more like-minded. Maybe you're moving closer to a sibling or moving in with a sibling. Yeah, and there'll be a lot of emphasis on soulmate relationships and true friendships. So I do see that some of this could be romantic for some of you. So big emphasis on that for you over the next 18 months. And your goddess oracle card is Isolde, undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So I see this applying to 9th house things, any endings that you have in like long distance relationships. Kind of knowing that just because that's wrapping up or coming to an end, it doesn't take away everything that you have gained and learned from the situation, which is so annoying to hear, especially like in the beginning. So feel free to ignore me, but that's just what I hear coming up. Also, I'm hearing that the community that you seek, the community that you are calling in or moving into over the next 18 months is a very loving community, right? That really revolves around love. Let's see if there's anything else in the book that isn't coming up for me with this. Also, some of you may be getting a new vehicle, I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing like moving out of this, like whatever you're leaving behind, if you are physically moving to a new home, but many of us are, releasing and shedding South Node things. Maybe you're leaving a career position at a college or a university, because it rules higher education, ninth house, right? And whatever you're leaving doesn't take away from everything that you've built and you gained, and it doesn't just erase that because now that you're moving on into a different community, right? The love is there, the lessons are there regardless of what you're letting go of. And it is a call to let go of something, and that could be an old relationship to make room for the new. I'm hearing like, yeah, it could be that, and it could be ninth house things, right? I'm also hearing letting go of the idea that what you want is always across the pond, is always somewhere else. There may be some like obsession or emphasis with always wanting to travel, to go abroad, to, you know, like go see a shaman, to heal and do all these things, when really it could be right. You can do all those same things right next door. You can do all those same things where you are in your local community. You don't need to travel for that. Okay, so there's some emphasis on that. Yeah, let's look at the self-care card for you. So the self-care card for you, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and particularly Rising, yes, intuition, following your intuition, tapping into that enhanced intuition that you will likely be seeing over the next 18 months. Okay, following your intuition when it comes to releasing those ninth house things, possibly relationships, careers, okay? That idea that everything can only be done far from home. You can only learn, you know, when there's distance. Okay, I'm also going to look in the book for this one. But yeah, spending your year in a like-minded community that allows you to tap more into your intuition, following your intuition when it comes to finding that like-minded community if you're still on the hunt for it. The mantra with this card is, I listen to my intuition as it leads me on my highest path. Yeah, you know, so what is intuition? It's our innate inner knowing or knowledge. I'm also hearing to look into your human design and to see like how you, what's the flavor of your inner knowing. You know, for me, it's my gut, and I can feel in my gut right away. Some people are more emotional, they need to sleep on it. Also tapping into your physical being, the physical body, because maybe you don't know those sensations of what it feels like to feel your intuition telling you something. Many of us who have experienced trauma, that meter gets a little funky, right, and messed up. And sometimes we think it's our intuition telling us, but really it's our past traumatic experience telling us to be hypervigilant and worry, right? So knowing the difference is also what I'm really hearing for you here, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. But I see a really lovely nodal shift for you, one that helps hone in on your intuition, your intuitive gifts, right? Third eye is intuition. I'm also hearing like chakra third eye clearing, looking up some of those ideas to help you better tap into your intuitive gifts and your intuition, and allowing those intuitive gifts to lead you into a more focused, local, like-minded community. Yeah, and possible like job closer to home. Yeah, those are some of the things that I'm hearing. So if any of that resonates for you, for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or any of you, I would love, love, love to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel called to do. Love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.